Hey guys, I'm back. So I took a hiatus to get away and went to Australia, and a whole bunch of things happened. Unfortunately, my grandmother passed and had to deal with that whole family stuff for, you know, people of color. We know that's not as always easy. But tonight I'm excited to have an author, Anderecco Turner, who's coming on. And we're going to be talking about his books. We're going to be talking about his life. We're going to be talking about living our best life as always. So I'm excited to have this brother on. I think you'll be excited to hear from him too. He's a fellow HBCU grad, so that's always exciting for me. But first, we'll do the promo and get some of this stuff going, okay? Okay, so like I was saying, we're back. Had some things happen in my life and went to Australia, which was basically a 30-hour flight. Even though it's a 20-hour flight, there's a 10-hour time difference, so you lose a whole day to travel. So yeah, we got that taken care of, and I'm back in the studio. So we're at episode 16. Mr. Anderecco Turner, he's an author. He has wrote 7 books. Well, these are the 7 books that this gentleman has written. He is not only an author, but he is definitely living his best life, which is why I chose him to be on tonight's show, because I think that that's one of the main topics that we've always talked about. So I didn't take the time. I apologize and be very, candid. I didn't take the time and get everything quite together. So some things are still on the iPad, and then some things are still on the computer. So please excuse me. So over the course of the last couple of weeks, what's been going on? Kavanaugh, who is hopefully going to be confirmed or not confirmed or whatever. The girl has come up and said that, he groped her. I'm not sure if they were in high school or they were doing whatever, but it sounds a little sketchy on her part, but we never know. So tonight, hey, Joanne, hey, Brittany, hey, Jen, what's good? Devin, Tigo, what's going on? Blake, how's everything going? Thank you guys for tuning in. So like I was just saying, it's kind of sketchy. Maybe they may move forward tomorrow if she has a conversation about what really happened and comes forward as a victim of rape or a victim of any type of trauma that has happened to you. It's not always easy to talk about. So I'm inclined to understand her part and the hesitation, because this is big. This is a big, people are going to be like, why did you wait to the 23rd hour to come forward and talk about this that happened? This man has already been a civil servant. He's already been serving the country and so forth. And now you choose to do this now. So it gives Democrats ammunition for why Donald Trump shouldn't confirm yet his second Supreme Court justice. But at the same time, it also, do you want somebody running the country who is unfit, who basically makes poor decisions? I don't care at what age. We all act rashly. But if you're a person who shows this consistent stream of inappropriate behavior, then should you really be, serving on the highest court of the land? So hopefully we'll talk about that a little bit later. So we're going to bring Mr. Anderecco Turner on. He's a magnificent brother. Hey, Keena, what's going on, boo? So he's a magnificent brother doing magnificent work. He lives in down south. So as you all know, I'm from the South, and being a boy from the South, that comes with his own stuff. And he is, in spite of all of those things, living his best life. And I'll let him tell you all about that. He's incredibly accomplished. Not only be a 7-time author, he's also accomplished, like, he's graduated from 3 different programs, like bachelor's, master's. So he's really, really working hard, and that's what I think that we should celebrate in life, right? So we're gonna bring him on. To up, yeah. Anderecco, you're on. Oh no, hold up. I forgot to do the audio. The audio is something that I left off the iPad. And Derek, are you on?
I'm on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you for being patient tonight.
Thank you for having me.
I know we do this every Sunday. For the last 4 Sundays, most people have tuned in. Hey, Lee, what's going on? Have tuned in and seen, like, I do this every Sunday, except for the past 4 weeks. I went to Australia. My grandmother passed, and all that drama, conflama, craziness. But we're back live, and so thank you for agreeing to do this on a Sunday night.
Thank you. Thank you for having me anytime.
So tell people what you want to know about you, about your history, how you came to write these 7 books, because I love to write. I'm a liar. I don't love to write. I love to pay people to write. But you wrote these books on your own, 7 books.
Yes.
Along with working full time, living your best life. How did you manage, and why did you even get to where you are?
As you said earlier, I'm also a HBCU graduate.
For those who don't know, that's historically black college or university, by the way,
yes,
which is big down south.
Right. We both are ASU, 2 different ASUs.
2 different ASUs, right.
But I started writing early in life. I started basically writing in 4th grade. And in my sophomore year at ASU, me and my best friend decided that we were going to write a book. And it came up on Christmas break, and over the Christmas break, I went home and just shot the book out in 2 weeks. And when I got back to school, and I told him, I said, I got to tell you that I wrote the book. And he was like, okay, that's cool, no problem. That was in 2000. No, I take that back. That was in 1998 when I first wrote the first book, Who Can I Run To? And it wasn't until 2011 that I decided to do something with the book. And after that, things just progressed into 7 different books.
Sorry, I turned my mic off because the ice cream truck is outside the studio because he knows
Okay.
I'm into ice cream. So I apologize.
There's no
I'm a
problem.
boy from the South, and I'm a boy from the project. So ice cream trucks make me run outside. But I'm
Got you.
So HBCU grad. Now tell us about what your books typically. Is there a theme? Why do you choose to write the way that you write? Are they documentaries? Are they what?
My book basically pertains about the LGBT community and relationships and family dynamics within the LGBT, also along with just family itself, and how people that are part of the LGBT community deal with their family that are outside the LGBT community. It's about love. It's about family dynamics. It's about living your life, basically. When I first started writing the first book, my main character, Jacob, has a child in the book. And of course, we have people that have families and then come, it's a conglomerate of different things. But I basically wrote the books loosely off of my life. Off my life and off of friends' life and things that they have gone through and things that I've gone through.
Okay. And when you say partly off of your life, would you say love has been a part of this? Like, what made you? Okay, so since it's part of your life, then what part of your life? Are you talking about your own love life? Are you talking about your own, like, issues with family? What?
The first book was basically about the relationship that I was in during that time. The ups and the downs. I usually say that it's a fictional autobiography, but to be honest with you, that book is basically of everything that I was going through at that time in that relationship. When it came to, I changed it up, but when it came to the children, the child, when it came to the gun and the gunfight and the family dynamic, the graduating from college and having your mother there and telling you what you need to do and all this kind of stuff. I kind of changed it up for the book, but it is very 90% of me.
Okay. All right. So since your book's about the LGBT community, it's about love. Now you have been in bad relationships. Tell us about love, because that's one of the big things of this show. Are you scared? You scared? Say, Doc, I'm scared. I get with that. All right, go ahead. Say when you're uncomfortable.
I'm for it. I'm for it. It's about love. I love love, and I'm a hopeless romantic. And I was in a relationship. My first relationship, I was 19 and he was 31. He was 12 years older than me. And you know, when you have somebody that is that much older than you, they have experienced a little bit more life than you have. But at 19, I thought I was grown. I thought I was ready. And he used to tell me all the time, you know, you're not ready for this, blase, blase. And I forced myself into it. But then when I got it fully, I was like, God, what did I get myself into? Seriously. And so that's basically what the book is about. That's basically what the book is about. And of dealing with the dynamics of that relationship and letting that relationship go and finding something new. But your past is coming back to you, and how do you deal with the two when you know you have this love for person A, but you want to be with person B? And that's basically what the first book is about,
Right.
and everything. But when it comes to love and relationships, that's what I write about.
Okay.
Those are the things that I love to talk about.
Okay. In one of the books, you talk about being cheated on. Tell us about how do we, those of us who have experienced it, how did you deal with it? How do we deal with it? Being cheated on, and did you choose to write about it?
Being cheated on is one of those things that everybody goes through, and how I deal with it when I was both of my relationships that I've been in, and when I'm with you, I'm with you. I'm there wholeheartedly, and I accepted a lot of things that I should not have accepted as far as being cheated on, because I was willing to make that relationship work. I wanted to make that relationship work, even though I had friends telling me, "Dre, you need to let it go. He's doing this, he's doing that, all this kind of stuff." But no, I wanted to make my relationship work, and to write about it was very cathartic for me, and to get it out there and to show how I was dealing with it personally. Even though some of the decisions that I made wasn't right, now that looking back on it, would I do it again? Totally different. Totally different.
What would you do so different?
What I do, the first thing I would do differently is listen more to my friends. I guess I would listen more to my friends, and to take what they say, especially if they know the person a little bit more than me, take it to heart and do a little bit more investigation about it, instead of just saying, no, this is what I want to make happen. No, I've lost a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of rest. So no, I can't do it anymore.
Okay. Okay. So doing the being cheated on, or just relationships, because you're a hopeless romantic.
Yeah, being cheated on.
Okay.
Being cheated on. if I get that first inkling of it, I'm definitely gonna start doing a little bit more investigation about it, especially when I have people that know him more than I do. I'm definitely gonna do a little bit more investigation about it.
Okay. So, one thing that I've learned in working with couples, working with individuals, our partners, they don't choose to always like go out in the street, but I'm not gonna. But we have to recognize when we play a part in it. And sometimes there are things missing in our relationship that maybe the other person misses, or we're not afraid to say. Being a boy from the South, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm always sometimes thinking about, well, what is my and y'all gonna hear my southern. What's my mama gonna think? What's my pop gonna think? What's my grandma? Because I still have one grandmother left now. What they gonna think? You know, how does that look? And when sometimes you live a very kind of public life, especially as being an author, you also think about like, what would people think about me if, you know, if I have, let's see it. People have sex with their partners in public or do things that are risky. They do things that keep their relationship spicy. So what if I do those things and somebody finds out and that comes in their mind and it holds us back? How do you what do you do, or do you do anything, or was that even a part of like what was going on?
That very much was a part, especially like you say, being raised down south and being raised in the church down south. That plays a big part in it. And of course, I thought about my family and what would they think of me being in a relationship with a guy and everything. At first, it wasn't. What's the word I'm looking for? At first, it wasn't copacetic. It wasn't acceptable. And especially with my mom. I know she's watching this. Sorry, Mom. But it wasn't acceptable with her. And my grandmother was more open about it. Even though she pulled me to the side and she talked to me, you know, this is not right. This is what the Bible says, da 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 da. But I had to explain, you know, this is my life. This is how I feel. And I got to live my life for me to be happy. But here's the kicker. Being an ordained and licensed minister.
Okay. I didn't know that.
You know, so that added more to it. And so I was like, okay, God, I don't want to disappoint you. I don't want to disappoint my family. What do I do? And I kind of felt like I did not want to leave God, definitely. And I did not want to hurt my family. But then, of course, you know, being in a small town down in the South, word gets out and people start talking.
Right.
And, of course, you know, the thing that's going on with church hurt, and that's what happened to me. And I basically left the church at a time. And the person that was going around doing a whole lot of talking was, I'm not going to say instrumental in me leaving the church, but was some of the things that he said, it hurt me deeply. And I left the church. Left the Baptist church, I must say. Because, you know, with each denomination, you have different things that plays a part in your life. So that was part of me leaving the church, the Baptist church. And so now I'm still in the church, and I'm still a participant, still a worker, and all this kind of stuff, and I still acknowledge my ministry. But that played a big part in my life, being an ordained minister.
Right. And you said a word that I don't hear much of, is church hurt.
Yeah.
And some people be like, no, church heals. That's absolutely impossible. Church doesn't hurt. How does being an ordained minister, being an author, being an educated black man, a man of color, that's same gender loving, and hearing like, oh, church is supposed to heal because that's what we get taught as kids, and then recognizing as older that church hurts. Like, how do you mesh the two? Like, is church people or what?
It wasn't until a few months ago that I realized that it's not the church. It was the people in the church, and I had to go back and think about some of the conversations that a few people that were members, they have now transitioned and passed on, have called me to their house to talk to me about certain things within the church, and especially the church I grew up in. And it's not church itself. It was, and I come to realize it was the people and their thought process and their dynamics in the church and what role that they play. And you have your deacons, you have some ministers, pastors that say certain things, but it's not the church itself that hurts you. It's the people of the church. That's the way I feel about it.
Right, right. So, I mean, another, like, Blake, thank you for, he left the Lutheran church the same way in college and found a good home with his faith as a Methodist. So, I mean, I appreciate, people recognizing, like, hey, no matter where you are in your life, church is supposed to be a place that you get celebrated at, that on Sunday, that you go and you get fed.
Right.
So I don't care who you are, whether you be same gender loving, whether you be just an individual, like, hey, I'm trying to find myself, and I come to you on Sunday or Saturday or Friday for my brothers and sisters who celebrate on Friday. Like, I come to you because I need to be fit, and I need something that all the world is telling me that I don't do well, that I don't do right, and I need to be re-energized. So thank you for bringing that up, Blake, because sometimes we forget about, some of the others. We just think about, like, hey, same gender loving and this issue about men sleeping with men being such a big issue. But there are so many other subsects of folks who are getting hurt in certain church venues. So that's right on, Blake. So now, okay, so we talked about mom, we talked about that. Coming out, what was that like? Because were you young, were you old?
I think my first time really, really coming out, I think I came out like 3 or 4 times, to be honest with you.
Okay.
The first time I came out, I was dating someone when I was in high school, and we had went out of town, and some people from my hometown saw us, and they went back and I think told my mom, and my mom found out about it, and she didn't say anything, but she did her little investigation.
As mothers
and
do.
everything. Exactly. And she didn't come directly to me, but she would mention little things and all that. But I think that was the first time coming out. The second time was a little bit more dramatic than that. I was in college, and I left her a letter and told her, this is what it was. I had read Elian Harris's book, Invisible Life. And that was time for me to get ready to go back to school. And I typed up a letter and printed it out and folded it up and stapled it and put it in the book. And I told her...
Methodical.
Yes. And I told her, I left you something in my room. And I want you to read it. And next time I came back home, she was like, I did not find what you want me to read. But me being who I am, there was the letter, but it was stapled in a different spot. Like, yeah, she read this. So that was that. But the third time I can't remember. The fourth time really was when I was going through my divorce. And I was hurt. I was totally hurt. And I remember sitting in my bedroom on the floor, and I called her, and I just told her everything. From that moment, I just told her everything, and that was that. Wow. I think the third one would have been with the releases of the book. That would be the third one.
That's
Yeah.
definitely a third one when you put it on paper.
Exactly.
And it's there for mom to figure out and like try to work through. So one of the main things that I like about this conversation, especially with us do things on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, is a lot of our younger generation are consuming. This is where they go, where they learn their stuff. They don't even watch TV.
Right.
Now, what do you do like for 9 to 5, and does that impact what you do?
My 9 to 5, I'm a teacher. You know, I'm in the educational realm of life, and I deal with children for the last 13 years, and I see and I hear conversations that go on, and even though I don't discuss my personal life with my kids, I think that they know that they can trust me when they tell me certain things of that nature. And I just try to give them the best advice I can. I don't tell them which way they should go, but just to follow their heart and go from there. But as far as my professional life, I try to keep it a little bit separate from my personal life.
Right. One of the things, like you said, in education, I have a lot of friends. I have a good number of friends who work in the LGBT youth. And like my girl Wendy, thanks for joining, Wendy. Christine, who's on, she doesn't work with LGBT. Sandra, thank you for joining in. Reggie, Key, Bridget. So they work with youth. And one thing I'll be honest about, I came out young. They don't care. They are like, this is who I am. I don't care. You live with who I am and get over it. So this allows a platform for them to say, hey, these are two same gender-loving, identified African-American men of color living unapologetic, and that, you know, I can be successful. I can be a psychologist. I can go out and be a professor. I can teach youth. I can go out and be a nurse. I can be a medical doctor. And there's these great representations like me and you are doing right here. So that's what I love about doing this. Now, does that impact like who you are? Because one of the things as an administrator for a charter school that I love is when teachers bring all of who they are, when they bring 100%, because I think kids connect with genuine people at this point in life. I think if you're fake, kids are gonna tell you fake.
They're gonna know. They're gonna know.
Fake. That's why I can't work with them. How does that impact you as an educator? Like being in the South, we're very conservative. What's the line? Is there a line nowadays?
For me, there's a line. I try to, like I said earlier, I try to keep that my professional life separate from my personal life. I've had kids in all 13 years that talked about certain things in their life that's going on, but I never told them, okay, this is what it is with me, and I understand what you're going through. I try to talk to them in a way to keep it neutral in everything. I don't want, because we are in the South and we have parents and administrators that don't think or believe it's the same way as you do. And so I try to keep it straight and not go out any type of other way with that conversation.
Okay. Right. Okay, got you. So, you know, speaking of teenagers, this is crazy. So, I get an alert. New York Magazine reporting that Senate Democrats have investigated a second woman's accusation of sexual misconduct by Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh from his teenage years. So, all y'all girls, come out now.
They coming out now. They coming out.
Go ahead and do it now, or else, like, forever hold your peace. I mean, talk about that. I don't know if you work with teenagers, but you work with youth and their experimentation. What is that acceptable nowadays? Because, I mean, obviously, Brett Kavanaugh is not allowed to have experimented as a teenager.
But with that, what was it with that? How can I put this? What did he do? is it something that I look at it? Was she in love with him and he hurt her, and now she's trying to hurt him? It's so many different dynamics that you can look at that situation that's going on, and I don't really want to go there, but it's but it's like, okay, you waited, and I know they say you wait 20 and 30 years before you come out and say anything. Women feel like they don't have the power, the dynamics to say this and say that,
Right.
and all this kind of stuff, and which I do understand that. But really, why do a lot of people come out? Even with the case with, Bill Cosby, he's being sentenced next week.
Is he? Oh, Jesus.
From what I read, he's being sentenced next week.
Oh, Bill.
Is it because you came out because did a check stop, or did he start talking to somebody else that you thought you were the only one and you wasn't, or you hurt from that, now you trying to hurt him? I'm for the Me Too movement and everything, but I'm looking at it on 200 different sides, I guess you could say.
Right. It's a very sketchy thing. I don't know where to sit on on this. I sit on the side of what's right. If it actually happened, bring it out. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out.
Let's talk about it.
But don't be intentionally malicious.
Exactly.
And then be avoiding. Go ahead.
I'm going to step away for about a minute. Is that okay?
Go right ahead.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Go to. Hold up. Let me turn this audio off. I don't know why my audio is doing that. So, yeah. So it's really interesting. We'll figure out why more and more continue to come out. So Brett Kavanaugh and this whole issue is just really, really, really puzzling to me. So but it'll come out. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that he should get a pass? This happened in his teenage years. Somebody shouldn't be held accountable for their teenage years. I'll be honest. I did a lot of stupid things in my teenage years, maybe in my younger adult years, that I would be embarrassed by or ashamed of. But then I also recognize that, I can't be held accountable for everything that happened for the rest of my life. Because how fair is that, right? That's not the fairs. So he stepped away for a second. And yeah, so what do you guys think? I'm waiting. Welcome to the show, Tamisha. Also, Henry. What do you guys think about this whole Brett Kavanaugh deal? I mean, the guy's a teenager. I've been a teenager. We've all been teenagers. We've all made stupid mistakes. We all maybe in some way hope to aspire in our life to be something significant and make a big difference. And I'm sure this guy, Brett Kavanaugh, in high school, never thought I may be a Supreme Court justice. And even if he did, I mean, would you have thought about that? Lancelot, welcome to the show. So, I mean, is that fair? So, again, I want to know, because are Democrats, are they going down a rabbit hole for nothing and holding up our country's movement? Because the truth is we have an open vacant spot. Yes, it happened during 45's presidency. It happens. Get over it. So should we be held captive based on the fact that this may have happened? Then the girl disappears, but then she wants to negotiate the terms of her coming out. You knew that this was gonna change everything. So don't just, not show up to court or show up. So we're going to bring him back on. I apologize for my rant. Sorry, I was ranting about.
There's no problem. There's no problem. I had to take care of something right quick. But with the Kavanaugh thing, was it high school or college? Was it high school?
High school.
We all have done things in high school not knowing where we're going to be 20, 30, 40 years down the road. If it happened, I hate it happened to her.
Right.
I really do.
Exactly.
But now I'm finna sound more on the liberal side, I guess I can say. Or is she being paid to come out? And they bought out another man who looks like Kavanaugh did back in the day, and she said that she is not making a mistake as to who did what to her. It's just the world we living in now.
Right.
Have I ever been assaulted sexually? And the definition of it, from my understanding, is anything that makes you feel uncomfortable with sexual talk. Yes. Do I want to bring that person down or those people down? No, I ain't got time for that. I'm moving on with my life because it is what it is. I don't want to sound like I don't care about these people or have compassion towards these people who have been assaulted, but
Right. I mean, I've been sexually assaulted. I'm a nurse. I've had female patients or their family come in and be like, damn, that's what nurses look like nowadays. I'm sick. That's kind of, I felt uncomfortable.
Exactly.
They were aggressive and it was unwarranted or it was unsolicited from me. So, this definition is very broad. Should we as a country be held captive? I sit on the side of saying no. I sit on the side of knowing that I haven't always made smart choices as a teenager. And some of my classmates watching this is like, I knew him when he was a teenager. I didn't tell you about it. So, and I may one day want to be a Supreme Court justice. Did I think about that when I came out at 13? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't know, my brother.
It's everything is so tedious now. Right. You have to watch what you say. You have to watch what you do. You have to watch where you go because you never know, especially in a day that this can catch every moment of your life. No.
Right. Even worse, our babies put their whole life on social media, so they'll never get to be anything in life.
Right.
Like, oh, she listened to Cardi B when she was 13. That shows that she doesn't have, good upbringing, and she shouldn't be a president.
There you go.
Crazy. So, where can people find your books? Because I think that LGBT authors' books don't get the right publishing, and so people can go find it.
You can go find my book on Amazon.com, and that's the main place that they're being distributed right now. I did have my website up, but I kind of let it go down and everything, but I'm thinking about bringing it back up. But Amazon.com would be the main place to go and find all 7 other books, whether you want to find them hardcover, paperback, or digital. And a lot of people have been getting them digital here a lot lately.
Okay, great, fantastic. So yes, Tamisha, thank you. I realize that I'm breaking up because this thing is crazy. Like after a year, I think almost over a year that I've been doing this, I guess I've worn out the warranty. The warranty is over, so it's time to buy a brand new $350 converter. So exactly. So that was what was going on during our testing. So as an LGBT author who publishes for yourself, or are you with a publishing house? How can other people go get their work published? So that
I publish for myself.
Okay.
My advice that I've given to other people in the past about self-publishing is make sure you do your research. You have a lot of self-publishing companies out there that have various stipulations about how you're going to get paid your royalties, the rights that you'll have over your books and your own writings and all this kind of stuff. Make sure you do your research on it first. My first 2 books was published through a company, not going to name the company. If you know the books, you'll know the company. But they they are actually, because I was new to it, they are actually holding a check right now for me because of certain things.
Oh no,
So,
you need to get your check. Or you
exactly.
could be like Cat Williams.
I would go that route.
Not tonight.
But that's the reason. That's one of the reasons why I, after the second book with Love to Love, I was like, okay, let me go a different route. And so I started doing a little bit more research and everything, and I started working with this publishing company out of Pearl, Mississippi, which was closer to where I was living at the time. And they published and distributed my last five books, and everything was copacetic, everything was awesome, everything was good to go. And they did the cover work, the art cover, they did the printing, we did the proofing, all of that good stuff, and they allowed me more room to do everything that I wanted and needed to do with the books.
Okay. And that's what you need, the liberty to be able to do what you want to do and what you need to do with the book.
Exactly, especially when you are a self-publisher,
Right.
you know. And when you sign with a publishing company, of course they read the book. Oh, they don't like this part, they don't like that part. Then you got to go back and change your narrative, and that may not be your narrative, but they want you to fit their mold of the audience that they are shooting for instead of the audience you are shooting for.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of big issues in that industry that I'm not quite clear about, but that's for folks who want to write. Where can people reach you at and different stuff like that? I'll put it up on the screen too.
On Facebook and Twitter, you can reach me at Anderecco. On Instagram, you can reach me at Anderecco1. And of course, if you feel free to hit me on my inbox on either one, go ahead. I reply instantly, unless I'm at work or doing something else I can't get to you. But within 24 hours, I always reply to all my messages that come to me.
Great. I was actually going to bring up this file, and I thought I put it over, but sometimes I don't always put things over. I don't always move things over. This is sometimes taxing. I love it, but it's taxing because I love to talk about stuff. So this video like worked out well for me. Like, let's see. Hold up, media. Let's pull out media. Then then pull the media over here. When I tell you, I be like, Lord have mercy. What's this about? It's not going to be. So this I pulled off your Instagram.
Yes.
You know I'm nosy. I'm from the South. I'm like my mama.
Yes, we all are. We
I'm
all
like
are.
my mama. So hashtag
I gotta see what's going on.
love to love. And then that's your YouTube account that people can check out.
Yes. Yes.
So.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you for taking the time. We're over, but I figured like with these show, me running my mouth for 30 minutes, and when I get on and if the chemistry and the dialogue works, then it works. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy life. Because you got to go probably do lesson planning and all that stuff they make y'all poor teachers do on the weekend.
I've already got that done. Thank you.
Well, you have a great night, Anderecco.
Thank you. You
Take
too. All right.
All righty, guys. So, yeah, we're done. So, I'm turning this off because I didn't set everything up. So, next week, unfortunately, I won't be on Sunday. It will be during the week because I will be with the American Association of Men in Nursing in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, at a exciting nursing conference. If you're not a member, check out American Association of Men in Nursing, aamn.org. They are doing phenomenal work for men and those who support men as a workforce in nursing. We represent around about 8 to 10%, and sometimes that can be intimidating for, say, for instance, your high school son who may think about wanting to be a nurse as a part of their career path. So when they only have 10% to look at. So unfortunately, next Sunday, I won't be on during 8 o'clock. However, if you look at during the weekday, I will be on broadcasting live from American Association for Men in Nursing. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. I love you, beautiful people. Take care. dancing,